All right, thank you so much. Coach, why don't you begin with an opening statement?
Yeah, obviously a great night. Appreciate the fans. Really, really electric atmosphere for an opener. 40,000 plus student poll, 100,000 plus attendance again. And so thank you again to the 12th man for all that you do to drive us. I thought it was an interesting game. Obviously excited to get the win, starting 1-0. Obviously always a good thing. I think a lot of the big question marks, I think, showed to be good. I think we wanted to get more explosive on offense. We did. We wanted to get more explosive in the return game. We did. We wanted to see Marcel throw the ball a little bit better. He did. Now we have to be able to run the ball. We've got to be able to hold up a little bit better up front. We got a lot of things in those types of areas that we got to clean up. But I thought we showed a lot of the things that we wanted to show. Defensively, I thought we did a much better job defending the pass. I thought we did a really good job in some of the things we were doing coverage-wise. Obviously, we had some of the misfits show up again, right, and create some explosive runs, which obviously are things that are going to need to get fixed and need to get cleaned up. And was really excited with what we did in the return game. Both Terry and KC back there, I thought those we made some explosive plays in the punt return game, which was another big emphasis. And so it just was an interesting game. It was. They're a good team. They're going to have a really good year. We've got a lot of things that we're going to have to do to get better at between week 1 and week 2 to go where we want to go. But it's a good start, and it's a good way to start the season. So from there, we'll open up to questions.
Coach, we've got Carter right here.
Hey, Mike, what do you think was maybe the biggest issues for you guys from a run defense perspective, and how fixable are they, and do you feel like they kind of got cleaned up later in the second half?
Yeah, I think they're definitely fixable. I felt like in the first half, a lot of it was some off yardage runs that they popped on us, and then the two touchdowns were both just some kids playing for the first time, not doing what we need to do to be successful. And so we'll get that cleaned up and get that fixed. But yeah, they're very, very correctable situations.
And was Casey just cramping? Is he good to go?
Yeah, Casey's fine, yeah.
Coach Mark, right to the left.
Mike, after Henry had that long run, the next 6 possessions, they had 9 total yards. What changed? Was it just guys doing what they were supposed to do, or did you say something? Or
no, I think we kind of fixed some things at halftime. I think we kind of had a good plan on a little bit better plan on what they were doing in some of those off distances. And again, we were putting them in some third down spots in the first half. They were they kept popping some traps and some runs that we hadn't really seen or been ready for. And so that's on me, and we got to get that fixed. Then we came out and it's just. We had a kid run the wrong defense on the first play of the second half. He looked at the wrong signal, or he ran the wrong defense. It was his first play of the season, and that's going to cause problems. And so that's what happened on the first play. I think after that we played well.
Coach, to the right, we've got Travis.
Hey, Mike, you talked about wanting the punt return to be explosive. How satisfying is it that, right up from the get-go, you get that kind of response?
Yeah. I thought we had some kids block really, really well today. I thought we blocked really well on punt return. I thought we blocked well on the perimeter. Both of those things were things that I didn't think we were really good at last year, and so it was good to see those two things take big steps forward tonight. And obviously, anytime you can be dangerous in the return game, that's a big part of college football nowadays. We talked about that at one of the press conferences recently, and so it's good. Yeah, it's good to see that.
And to your point with Mario, with KC, the other guys around them were able to kind of spring those guys. How much was a focus on the blocking on those kind of RPO plays?
Yeah, it matters. It matters. And if people are going to try to load the box on us, we're going to have to be able to spit the ball outside and make them pay for it. And I think that was something we weren't really efficient at times last year. Obviously, it's just one game, so we're not going to draw massive conclusions. But it was good to see it show up tonight the way it did, and it's going to have to continue as we go through the year.
Coach, to the left, Alex.
First, just what was your assessment of y'all's running game on offense?
It was very, very choppy. We kind of knew it was going to be. They play an awful lot of people in the box, and so we ran a lot of RPOs. A lot of those balls that got spit were run plays that they just were cramming people into the box, and so we kind of thought it was going to be that kind of game. It was good. It was kind of played in hand with what we wanted to do. We wanted to be able to get the ball out in those kids' hands and let them go to work and let them get comfortable doing those things. And so, the yardage per carry is not bad. We just didn't have a ton of run opportunities.
And then just second, Zirkle handled the place kicking duties on the PATs tonight. Just how'd that battle kind of shake out, and just maybe just how that with Randy kind of flip-flopping there from last year's roles?
Yeah, it was interesting. It had been, Jared had been phenomenal all the way through spring, all the way through fall camp. And he just won the job. And so, we feel like by a wide margin won the job. And so, you feel like if you're going to have competition in your program, you have to make it honest competition. And it was. And Randy will be ready if we need him. And Randy's a great kid, and he's been really good for us. But Jared has been phenomenal through spring and through fall camp. And so we just decided to go that way.
Coach to the right, second row.
Hello, Coach. I just want to ask, how do you feel about Des Ricks' play today and the progression he's made?
Good. It's hard to see, play in and play out. Obviously, I thought he made, a nice play on the 1 3rd down. Then he had a really good pass breakup. They tried to test him a couple times, and I thought he was tight in coverage. Again, it'll continue throughout the year and to kind of see where he's really at. But it was certainly a good start for him.
Coach to the left, Olin.
Yeah, Mike, obviously big performances from KC and Mario, but just if you talk about how satisfying that must be that, two guys that y'all targeted at needing to make a difference, and then they came out right, first game to, have so many big plays.
Yeah, obviously we have a lot of confidence in those two guys and the guys that have been out there in practice, and we feel like those two kids are really, really talented receivers. We also feel like Ashton and Terry Bussey are too, and Isaiah Williams keeps coming, and so we feel like that group is in a better position than they were when we got here day one for sure, and I think we've made some of the strides that we want to make. It's, again, I'm not going to sit here and say that we've arrived or anything like that. We still got a lot of weeks in front of us and a lot of work to do, but it was good to see those guys go out tonight and do what they did and make the explosives that they made.
Coach to the left, Christy.
You mentioned Marcel in his performance tonight. How do you feel like he's progressing as a passer with y'all making that be a focus kind of this offseason?
Yeah, I thought he threw the ball well. Obviously he had the one deep ball to KC that I'm sure he wishes he would have back. But outside of that, I thought he made the right decision. I thought the timing looked better than it has. I thought he was putting the ball where it needed to go, and I think all of that was good. I thought we took some good strides in that area.
Coach to the right.
Coach, obviously 11 receivers caught a ball tonight. Can you just talk about just how deep your receiver unit is, whether it be running backs, tight ends, wide receivers? Like, it feels like this offense has a chance to be special this season.
Yeah, obviously I think we've enhanced the amount of skill players we've got. I think we've added quite a few guys that I think can be difference makers from a skill position standpoint. Getting Lev back and Rube back adds more to it, and so I think we have some talented skill position players that we can find ways creatively to get them the football and allow them to be explosive, and so that's a big part of what we wanted to accomplish when we got here. It's been a huge emphasis for us. Again, there's a lot of weeks in front of us, and we got to keep doing it, but it was certainly a good start tonight.
Coach all the way in the back, Parker.
Coach, we all pretty much majored in journalism, but you could see the return on investment that Casey and Mario gave you today. What did you expect that to be as explosive as it was, and maybe play as big of a role in the offense today as it did?
Yeah, I did. I think they're two talented kids. They were two talented kids that we targeted, that we coveted, that we thought would have a huge impact on what we were doing around here. And, obviously I think now that'll draw some attention, which will be really good and free up some of the other weapons we have too. And, but yeah, I did. Those two kids are really good players, and so I was happy for them tonight.
Coach will stay in the back, Tyler.
Yeah, you talked about the run defense. How would you evaluate kind of the front seven and the pass rush and how that's coming along?
Yeah, again, I would just say it felt choppy. Like the whole game just kind of felt choppy on defense. I felt like we did some good things. I think we put ourselves in position to make some plays. But, obviously you can't allow rushing yards like that, and you have to put more pressure on the quarterback. Again, it still feels like every time we play one of these games that the quarterback spits the ball out of his hands as soon as he gets it. Like, it does not feel like there's a lot of time to get to the quarterback, but we'll watch the tape and see where we can improve and get better. It was nice to see Rylan Kennedy. The one time they did try to take a play-action pass and actually push it downfield, to see Rylan Kennedy get the sack. And, they didn't do much of that. We didn't expect they would do much of that. And this is kind of how those games play out sometimes for us.
Coach front right, Travis.
Coach, were y'all letting Le'Veon kind of grow into the game, and did y'all get to see enough out of him from what y'all scheduled for him?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we scheduled it for him. I think, again, you go into it and, you just kind of see how it goes and play it, how it plays out. And he was out there, thought he looked good. Again, we'll watch the tape and kind of get more details on that.
Any other questions?
Good.
Right to the left.
Coach, what does Casey's punt return do for the team? First touchdown to settle down. What does that do for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. I think it's a huge momentum in the game. Obviously, when you go out there, everybody's very anxious, and that's first game. No matter who you play, no matter how many times you've played, you go out in Kyle Field at night for the first time. There's a lot of anxiety, and he goes out there, he gets a whole bunch of blocks, and off he goes, right? And that's a huge credit, and certainly he deserves a lot of it, but there weren't very many people around him to tackle him either, right? And that's a credit to the guys that were out there on that unit, and that's the nature of special teams, right? Is there's a lot of names that you don't know out there making things happen for the guys that get all of the credit for it, right? And again, I'm not taking anything away from him, but that was a really, really well blocked punt return touchdown, so it was good to see.
Coach to the right, second row.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Solomon Williams, he had the tackle for loss there in the second half. Just tell me what you've seen out of him the past few weeks in camp.
Yeah, a kid who just keeps growing and keeps developing, and so got an opportunity to get out there and did some nice things. He's a kid that adds value to us as an edge. We got to continue to get him consistently executing at the level we need him to get more opportunities, but it was great to see him get out there in a limited scope and make plays, right? And that always gets you more opportunities to go out and showcase what you can do.
Anything else for Coach?
Good.
Great,
Thank you, guys.
Our first player on the podium tonight is Torian York, who would like to get us started with Torian. We'll go second row on the left side to Alex.
Torian, what were they doing in the first half, or what were you guys maybe not doing that allowed them to have the success they had in the run game?
Yeah, I mean, we really just misfit a lot of stuff, I know the D-line will get a lot of flack because these guys ran 203 yards, but we misfit a lot of stuff at linebacker as well. So, a little bit of sloppiness, that's what happens. We never played football in 9 months, but definitely got clean up in the second half, and we'll clean up throughout practice next week.
And then what was the difference that y'all were able to change it after the long touchdown run? Because they really stopped their momentum after that.
Tempers flare when you give up a 75-yard touchdown on the first play of the second half. It's kind of like Bowling Green-esque in a sense. We didn't want that to happen because obviously we know the Bowling Green game went down to the wire. So we all just came to Jesus moment. Really, we're just like, we got to dial in. We're giving these guys too much free stuff. Like, I'm looking at it. The dude ran for 16 carries, 177 yards. Like, that's ridiculous. That's not what we stand for.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis.
Yeah, right after that run, what were the conversations like? And I mean, how many guys came up with that kind of Bowling Green idea at the same time?
I mean, we all was there. We were all there whenever we gave up that spot route for 75 yards, But we pretty much just told everybody we love you and we know that we can stick together and we can battle through this. This is not where we're going. We're not going to have a close game versus UTSA. So it's kind of how it went.
And how satisfying was it to then go out and kind of pitch the effort y'all did in the second half?
I mean, it's always good to see. I wish we could have got some turnovers. It's obviously on the plan to win, but I like how we finished out, and that was our mantra all offseason.
We'll go back behind the lights on the left side to Parker.
Torian, saw you pretty animated when the 12th man kickoff was in the works. What were you saying to them, and then how cool was that to see that today in the season opener?
It's really just awesome to see those guys get the attention that they deserve because they put in so much hard work throughout the week, obviously on the scout team. And, we wouldn't be here without the scout team. So it takes truly an entire organization, and everybody in that locker room tonight had a role in the victory.
We'll stay on TV row to Donna.
Torian, what'd you make of Casey and Mario's performances tonight, and just how cool is it to watch them from the other side?
I mean, it's awesome. I'm glad Mario Carey was on our team, for one. Obviously, we played him last year, and he gave us a little bit of troubles in that first half. Casey, I mean, words can't display how much of a good person he is, really. He's a great guy. He takes care of the people around him, and not only his family, but his peers as well. So I'm glad that both of them are on our team.
We'll go front row on the left side to Mark.
Torian, last year, the big problem at the end of the season was the passing game or defending it. How nice was it to see a good quarterback have trouble throwing against you guys first time out?
I mean, it's good. We take a lot of pride in our communication and our hand signaling, just being on the same page, because that's what a lot of it was last year. It's not like we didn't have the talent to defend the pass. We just, emotions happen, nobody's talking, nobody's hand signaling, we're not on the same page, and so that's what happens. You lack in the pass game. So this year, especially in the OTAs this offseason, we made that a big priority of ours.
Anything else for Torian? We'll go second row on the left side to Alex.
Yeah, since you faced Casey and Mario, a lot of bubble screens tonight. Just how tough has it been going against that in practice, and just what you've seen that kind of element added to this offense?
I mean, those guys are legit playmakers. I mean, they're extremely dangerous with the ball in their hands. We're going to continue to try to get the ball in their hands. But, I can't wait to see our run game take off, because the stable, I know they're waiting for us. So hopefully next week we can put that on display.
We'll go second row on the right side.
Hey, Tori. Great job tonight. You guys played in front of the sixth largest crowd in Kyle Field history, and this was a non-conference game nonetheless. So just what does that mean to you and the rest of the guys?
I mean, it's awesome. Like, whenever the fourth quarter light show came on, obviously I got a glimpse of it earlier this week when I did the uniform reveal. But just to see it in effect in that atmosphere with 107,000 people is truly amazing. And I was telling the guys on the field, it's not like this everywhere. So make the most of it, especially a night game at Kyle Field. Those don't come around too often as well. So definitely make the most of it.
All right, it looks like that's all we have. Thank you, Torian.
Thank y'all.
Our next player at the podium will be Marcel Reed. Who would like to get us started with questions for Marcel? We'll go third row on the right side to Christy. Yes, you can have it.
No, I said, did he leave his?
Oh, well, the other one.
It's okay.
What can you say about your two new receivers, Casey and Mario, and what they were able to do for you tonight?
Same thing I said over the summer. I mean, we have an explosive receiver room this season, and, they showed that. I mean, I got them the ball probably 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, and they turn them to 30, 40-yard plays, and that's what they can do. When they get the ball, they're slippery, and people got to make open field tackles, and, they couldn't do that tonight, and they showed, and we kind of dominated on that part.
We'll go second row on the left side to Alex.
A lot of bubble screens with those guys. Just what is it about kind of their skill set and how you guys feel y'all are able to utilize that kind of route concept?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are fast, they're quick, they're twitchy. And, we talked about getting the ball all week. Coach Klein talked about, we have bubbles the whole game. And, we wouldn't be mad if we threw 10 and got a gain of 5 every play. But, it seemed like that every bubble we threw was 10 or more yards. So, we just kept doing it until they could stop it, and they couldn't. So,
how would you just assess the way you played, and particularly the way you threw the ball?
I think I did all right. There are some plays I missed. Obviously, KC was wide open on one of those balls. I think the wind kind of caught it. Also, I was a little bit juiced, kind of let it fly, but kind of mad about that one. But I think I did pretty well overall. It kind of took us some adjusting to do. They didn't come out in what we expected them to come out to. So, first 2 drives, we're kind of adjusting to the coverages and what they were playing, because that's not what they showed on film. We kind of had to change our game plan a little bit. But, once we got rolling, we got rolling.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis and then Tony.
Yeah, to that end, how difficult was it to kind of game plan for the coverages when they have 10 new guys coming in like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too hard to game plan for, the type of defense that they play when they have the same kind of coach. But, with new players in, maybe they could try something different. But obviously we don't have film on that going into preparation. So, like I said, we just had to adjust in the middle of the game. And we did that. And once we did, plays started to happen for us.
And how would you rate how just kind of the offense ticked along as a whole through the game?
Yeah, I think, the passing game, I think we did a lot better than we've done previously. And what we've shown previously. Obviously, in the run game, we got to get moving. Got to cut back on penalties. Had way too many, and that put us in some 3rd and long situations to where they could kind of attack with an uppercut and send pressure with cover 2. We just got to stop that, and then obviously we got to be better in the run game.
We'll stay on that front row to Tony.
Marcel, obviously, receptions to 11 different guys. You guys are known for being a running team. But what is a passing performance like tonight, and just how many different ways you guys are able to attack them with the vertical game, and how important, like how much does that help you guys moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously helps when they have so many guys they have to stop. I mean, we have, 4 great tight ends, 6 great wide receivers, and then obviously got four great running backs I can get the ball and check down to. So, they got a lot of people to cover. And, if they can't cover them all, then I'm going to get the ball to them. If they can, then I'm going to run myself. But, they have to choose. They have to play. And, we're kind of taking advantage with that. And I'm glad we got all these guys out of the portal. Some guys can go for this team. And I'm really excited to just see, how we progress throughout the season.
We'll go front row on the left side to Mark.
Marcel, you've seen what Mario and Casey can do all spring. You've seen it all summer. But how much fun was it to see those guys turn upfield and go when it really mattered in front of 100,000 people?
I mean, it was amazing. Just watching Casey on that punt. I mean, I was like, that gave us the spark we needed for the game. And, it was just, that dude's crazy. I haven't seen a punt return like that since Anaya Smith's been here. So, it was great watching him do that. And then Rio, like I said, you throw him a ball behind the line of scrimmage and he turns it into a 60-yard gain. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. So, great respect for those guys. I mean, they're great players, and I'm happy they're on my team.
We'll go third row on the left side.
So what has made you most proud of your development for yourself as a player from, last December against USC to now this season opener against UTSA?
I mean, I feel like it's made me most proud is probably my leadership. I mean, I'm able to communicate with these guys a little bit better. Getting receivers in the film room with coaches, just trying to get that extra connection, build that connection with everybody, and find ways to get the ball in their hands. Like I said, we watch every week just to understand each other's minds, what we're thinking on each play, and then gaining the trust of everybody. I think everybody's come so close together since we've been in this offense for a whole year. And, we got a veteran O-line, some veteran running backs. And, it's special to have a team that has been together for so long, but in a system for so little. And, we're kind of just all bonding together, learning something new and having fun with it.
We'll go back to TV row on the left side to Parker.
You mentioned you haven't seen punt returns like that since Anias. Almost 2 people that can do that with Terry and Casey. How does that factor into the explosiveness of that return squad and just maybe what that brings to the table for this team?
Yeah, I'll tell you what it brings to the table, great field position. Terry almost took back 2, and he had one on the kickoff return too. So, I mean, great athletes. If they have the ball in space, they can make something happen. And it's just amazing that I get to sit back and watch those guys work. Because you see it every day. You've seen it since the spring and the summer and fall camp, and just really excited that we have such a great group.
We'll go front row on the right side to Carter.
Marcel, you talked about Craver and KC, and even before you get the ball to their hands, just how much does it help speed up the timing and maybe the spacing, just how different it might feel now compared to maybe last season?
Yeah, the separation is a lot different. Like I said, we watch film together, and getting in spaces, it's kind of just a timing thing for us now. And you seen on that dig route, I threw the ball. I didn't even know where Casey was. I just knew where he was going to be, and he made a great catch. We had an explosive play on a 3rd and long, and that kept the drive going. But things like that is what makes this group so special. And like I said, I'm really excited just to see how we progress throughout the season.
And you guys didn't get the run game quite going tonight, but just what are your kind of expectations going forward for that, and maybe what kept you guys from really popping off from the run?
Yeah, like I said, there was just there was a difference in what they were playing, and we didn't have kind of many runs prepared. They played a little bit at a different front than we expected, but we have to adjust to those things, and we didn't get quite adjusted. And also just the penalties. We had some good runs, but a lot of them were taken back because of holding calls. So, that takes back on yardage. It makes us look worse than, what we were tonight, but we got to clean that up.
All right, it looks like that's all we have. Thank you, Marcel.
All right, thank you.
You get to go to the middle one. Our next player on stage is Mario Craver, who would like to get us started with questions. We'll go second row on the left side to Alex.
Man, Mario, just what was working for you when you got the ball in your hands and had some space to work?
I mean, I've always been a ball in hands guy. That's what they brought me here for run after catch situations. So, for me, like, it's just something I do, something they brought me here to do. So that's my job.
A lot of bubble screens tonight. Just what is it about that route concept that you guys felt like y'all could take advantage of against them?
We just get the ball in our receivers' hands quick, get a chance to go make a play on the safety one-on-one. That's what we like. That we think we got an advantage in that game, and it really against anyone. So, yeah.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis.
Yeah, on those bubble screens, a lot of good blocking from either wide receivers. How much of that was a focus over the fall, and what did you think of that performance?
Oh, Ash and Terry Bussey did a great, phenomenal job today blocking on the perimeter. Like, those guys did a phenomenal job, and I wouldn't be able to make those plays without them, definitely.
And what was it about in the game that when things started to kind of click? What kind of turned the corner for y'all and made things get in rhythm?
Once KC got that punt return and offense got one job going, and we was just like a well-oiled machine. We just rolling, you feel me? Like that's all we need is one explosive play to get us going. Like, that's how explosive this offense. Like, one explosive play, here comes another, here comes another, here comes another, here comes another. That's just what this offense is meant to do.
We'll go third row on the right side to Christy.
What does it mean to you to come into a new team and be able to make such an immediate impact?
It means everything to me because I came here to win. You feel me? Like, I came here to Texas A&M to win. I felt like last year at the team that I was at, we didn't. You feel me? Wasn't utilized enough. So I feel like they came here. When I came here, they had a plan for me, and you feel me? Like, that's just my job.
We'll go second row on the right side and then to Mark.
Hey, Mario. First game at Kyle Field, just tell me what you thought of the environment and how you'd say it would compare back at home in Starkville.
Nah, the atmosphere is definitely crazy. Yeah, like the fans, the drums, the everything, the crowd, everything. Just, I'm not gonna lie, top notch, definitely. And I played at Georgia last year. I played at Texas last year. Like, it's 1-0.
We'll go front row on the left side to Mark and then Tony.
Mario, you're talking about having a plan for you when you got here. First touch, you score a touchdown. How cool was that to, get that ball and go and score right off the bat?
Definitely a good full circle moment for me. Like, that's just what I've been trying to, like, these last 9 months, I've been focused on this first game, trying to put good stuff on tape because I feel like last year I didn't do that. So, yeah.
We'll go front row on the right side to Tony.
Mario, you had 8 receptions tonight. Last year, no receiver had more than 7 in a game. What's that say about your impact tonight and what it could possibly be for this season moving forward?
I mean, we just get open more. That's all that means. You feel me? Like, the quarterback going to throw it to whoever open.
We'll go second row on the left side to Jesus.
Mario, when you see that punt return for a touchdown, what does that do for the team? And also, can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with KC and what you guys can bring to this team?
Oh, plays like that definitely get us going. Like, me and him on the sideline, we know the team goes as we go. The offense goes as we go. As soon as we make our explosive play, everybody, here comes the O-line, here comes the running backs. Like, that's just what we do. Like, we're playmakers, we're game changers. That's what we do. And the relationship with KC, that's my dog, bro. Like, ever since day one, we've been iron sharp as iron, like, trying to make each other better. I'm pointing out his flaws. He's pointing out my flaws. Like, that's my dog.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis.
Hey, Mario, a lot of talk in the offseason about how Will Lee said he wanted you because going against you last year was the hardest guy. What did that mean to you, and what do you remember about going against him and now having him on your team?
It's crazy because I thought Texas A&M defense last year was the best defense I went against. That's one of the reasons why I decided to come here. So the fact that they think the same of me, you feel me? Like, it's just wholesome.
Anything else for Mario? All right. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you.
That is all we have tonight.